Thank you very much and good morning. It's quite a long way from over there to over here, but we manage. It's a good morning, sports. Dear Chair, Excellencies, Executive Director, ladies and gentlemen, let me start with saying thank you. Thank you very much for your work. The two of you, of course, but also the whole staff of the EUDA whose work has made this year's European Drug Report, but not only this year's, of course, but the last 30 years, such a success also. And good policies, in a way, come always from good evidence. At least it should be in politics. It's not always the case, I have to admit. And this is and should be a core part of our thinking also as a European Commission, and as I said, it should be of all policy makers. And what does that mean in practice? I think practically it means we depend, of course, as policymakers, we depend on the expertise of our agencies to form that evidence base. I think that is the most important thing we learn also from these reports. For 30 years now, the European Drug Report has provided us with critical evidence to help to shape the European Union's policies on illegal drugs, and our response also to the trafficking networks responsible for the supply. And this evidence base has helped us to evolve our response to meet the challenges over an ever more connected European Union, but also altogether an ever more connected world. And as a union, as a European Union, we have, I think, come quite a long way on better security cooperation altogether. But today we are also up against new and more difficult challenges, I would say. As this year's report points out, the widespread use of cocaine remains deeply concerning. I was quite shocked by how much cocaine seizures have been increasing. On the one hand, that's of course the high number of seizures is a testament, on the one hand, to our law enforcement also, but on the other hand, it speaks of the scale of the problem we have. Another important issue is the significant rise in synthetic cathinons and new ways in which also synthetic drugs are being manufactured. These trends, I think, show constantly evolving nature of both illegal drugs, of course, but also of the criminal networks involved. And our new internal security strategy, the Protect EU, that's how we called it, that's sort of our response to these new threats. And under this new strategy, under Protect EU, we will take the fight to organized crime by different things, different approaches, by following the money with new and also more intense efforts to cut off funding and also to seize the illegal profits that come from the drugs trade. It's the obviously the most lucrative criminality we see. Secondly, through our new EU port strategy, which will build on the very successful Ports Alliance to ensure faster and also more efficient control of our ports within the European Union. And the success is there. We see that there is a strong move from the bigger ports to the smaller ports already, and now, of course, we have to tackle the smaller ports as well. And thirdly, also by developing a new drug strategy together, of course, with the agency. Well, the agency is, of course, the key player in that, and also an action plan against drug trafficking, including a new legal framework also on drug precursors. And most of all, what we hear from those fighting drugs on the ground, and we have, of course, to listen to them, is that they need better access to data. I think access to data is key nowadays to give the tools to our law enforcement to fight the criminals. Most investigations rely on access to digital information. And in many cases, investigators' hands are tied in a way. They cannot share or retain also the important data they actually need. Or even when criminals are caught, it makes it hard to secure a conviction at the end of the day. And under our new strategy, under Protect EU, we are planning a careful but a considered approach to improving a lawful access to data. We will have to take the time, and we will take the time that is needed to get this right. Also, of course, working with all the stakeholders around, including also privacy advocates. I think that is also important to ensure concerns there might be are really addressed also. So, as you can see, turning Protect EU, turning our strategy from a strategy into reality will take quite a lot of work, but we are, of course, happy to do that, which is also why it is one of the top priorities for the Commission altogether, but also for me, of course, as a commissioner. And it will also take a lot of cooperation, I would say, at all different levels. We need to support the member states' law enforcement cooperation across all the borders. We need better international cooperation, also outside the European Union, through new security arrangements with third countries, with our partners there. And we also, of course, need the European Union agencies to work more closely with each other. I think that is also important, whether EUDA, of course, together with Europol, with Frontex, with Eurojust. I think your work is mutually reinforcing, and let's make sure we maximize those synergies. I think that is really important. If we do these things, not from today to tomorrow, but we are working on that, and I'm quite confident that we can, we will drive down, on the one hand, the supply of illegal drugs, and also disrupt the criminal networks that are having and hurting our societies. And most importantly, of course, also we can save lives with that. That is the most important thing. So thank you very much again for all you did, for all you're still doing, of course, until the end of the year or even further. Thanks very much to all of you working on this report, but also working on fighting the criminals and doing everything to save lives. Thank you very much.